bureaucracy, a lot of old neoconservatives, they have a fundamental difference with Donald Trump on the question of peace and war. I believe Donald Trump is the candidate of peace. I think the record supports that. But the reason these guys go after him so vociferously, I don't think that it's about his personality, Jake. I think that it's about they don't like that Donald Trump said no when a lot of them wanted to.
JD Vance used to be the voice of anti-establishment, the man in a baseball cap speaking with a rural drawl declaring, "I will never kneel before the elites." And then he knelt right away, not just knelt, but live streamed it on Fox News. He was once the embodiment of conservative awareness. Now he murmurs Trump slogans like a school child memorizing a pre-sermon. Vance's transformation doesn't look like a journey of growth. It feels more like a personality liquidation sale liverium during prime time. When Vance claimed Trump was a candidate for peace, I thought he was auditioning for a role in the Upside Down. Well, maybe he is, because in that world, yelling =sign right, speaking the truth =sign treason.
He says he agrees with Trump on most policy.
No.
He agrees with Trump on most policy. He disagrees with Trump on how Trump views his role and his and the fascism and the authoritarianism.
I don't buy that, Jake. I don't buy that, because if you actually look at John Kelly, at folks like Liz Cheney, the fundamental disagreement they have with Donald Trump is, even though they say that they're conservative in the sense that they want America to get involved in a ton of ridiculous military.
If JD Vance has a communication strategy, it's this: slam the table hard and speak like a market vendor in a debate instead of offering counter-arguments. He yells instead of proving his point. He screams, and instead of maintaining the demeanor of a politician, he behaves like someone who just had the last serving of the buffet stolen from him, the image of a grown man who once wrote books standing on stage shouting, "It's not my fault." That's all we need to understand why U.S. politics today feels like a fireworks festival with no fire safety laws. This is the moment J.D. Vance goes from politician to a contestant under the voice qualifier, yelling so loud the microphone is about to file for early retirement.
To talk about using the military against destroying American people.
And you're asking his vice president, but you won't let me answer the question. I'm telling you that Donald Trump has said, and I agree with him, that we should use the U.S. military to go after Americans. People who riot.
J.D. Vance shouted loudly, "I agree with Trump," as if it were a magic phrase that would help him overcome every challenge of getting to the audience. Now, as Google and noise and selling headphones here, he claimed the U.S. military should be used to handle rioters. Note that it's not about maintaining order, but using the military as if every protest were a Normandy invasion. And that moment, it's unforgettable if you're looking for a moderate politician. Sorry, you've tuned into the wrong channel. Here we only air those who think guns are the collective psychotherapy solution.
The idea of using the U.S. military to go after Americans. That's what he said.
Donald Trump never said Americans writ large. You keep on putting words in his mouth. And
are they or are they not Americans?
Far left people who commit acts of violence, who riot. And
now you're doing a very narrow definition of what he said, which is not what he said. That's not what he said. But let me ask you the bigger question.
He did say that, Jake. He did. He said that he wanted to use the U.S. military. Let me clarify.
Go after far left lunatics, yes. And then he also.
And finally, the climactic moment where J.D. Vance attempts to redefine history in real time, how by claiming that Trump never intended to use the military against Americans, but rather against the radical left anarchists, a clever twist like saying, "I didn't say I'd run someone over, I just said I'd drive close to them." When you start speaking in terms like what he meant was, "And congratulations, you've officially become," where's the emotional translator for a man who doesn't need anyone to translate for him?
Can you tell us that the lie heap is not one of those affected?
So you're asking a hypothetical based on programs that you can't even identify. What I can tell you is that
since you guys haven't identified, let's do it together just for Americans at home. Medicaid, is that affected?
I gave you a list of examples: Social Security, Medicare, welfare benefits, food stamps that will not be impacted by this.
Karoline Leavitt is a perfect example of someone in a tough spot. Just imagine having to stand in front of a crowd and defend things you know are undefendable. Surely she spent countless sleepless nights thinking about Trump's illogical statements, wondering, how do I turn this mess into a story that can actually be believed? Her job is not like the usual challenges faced by other press secretaries. Every time Trump opens his mouth, she has to work hard to create a fresh coat of paint to cover up something that can't be fixed. It's like trying to repair a car that's been racked with glue. You might patch it up, but no one is going to believe it's running smoothly.
We are not going to sit back and take it. Our leaders on the left are going to stand up for what's right.
And we cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have. We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win.
The way Trump reacts to Kimmel's jokes is like a child throwing a tantrum after being caught doing something wrong by their parents. You'd expect a president to set an example and accept criticism, but Trump chooses to shout on Twitter. As if it's the only way to save face, his tweets don't just reflect anger, but show that he's unable to control his emotions. It's like trying to calm a storm in a glass of water. These tweets only make everything more noisy. An uncontrolled Trump might be the most powerful person in the world, but it's clear he's still incredibly vulnerable to satire.
President Zambone had posted about our friends up north. They will pay a financial price for this so big it will be read about in history books for many years to come. The only thing that makes sense is for Canada to become our cherished 51st state. This would make all tariffs and everything else totally disappear. We will have the safest and most beautiful nation anywhere in the world, and your brilliant anthem, "O Canada," will continue to play, but now representing a great and powerful state within the greatest nation that the world has ever seen. He's moving on Canada like a bitch, and no one's stopping him. This is how Jafar from Aladdin tried to mate with Princess Jasmine.
With Trump, everything can be solved simply by annexation. Suggestion to annex Canada might make many laugh due to its impragmatic nature, but it also reflects one of the strange aspects of Trump's leadership style, always having a simple formula for complex issues instead of negotiating cooperation. Trump believes that such a simple decision could help America solve the terror problem without much effort. But just imagine annexing a country just because of a trade dispute. Isn't that an overly simplistic way of handling complex international issues? Yet it must be acknowledged that Trump always knows how to create hilarious stories in any situation. And the proposal of Canada as a 51st state certainly made many laugh because of how strange it is.
To the woman in the purple, because I saw you were making a face at my previous answer. So what's going on?
Karoline Leavitt is like a skilled actor in an endless comedy play. She's always on stage trying to turn the illogical into a plausible theory. But honestly, has she ever asked herself what exactly she's defending? Every time Trump makes a new statement, Karoline has to come up with a justification for it. And the more she tries, the more the absurdity of the president's words becomes apparent. She's like someone trying to put out a fire in a room full of gasoline, but no matter how hard she tries, the flames just keep burning brighter. This is a perfect setup for a comedy. When you can't explain something, the only thing left to do is laugh and hope that everyone else does the same.
For the audience, did anyone else get a group chat invite from the National Security Advisor today? Just me. I know we shouldn't enjoy the fact that we have a confederacy of dunces running this country, but I'll be honest, I can't help it. I'm enjoying it right now. This week in the race...
Jimmy Kimmel is a master of sharp jokes, and there's no better target for his roast than the Trump administration. Kimmel is the only one who can poke fun at those in power without facing a major backlash. What makes Kimmel so special is the way he exposes the weaknesses of the Trump administration, especially when Karoline tries to defend the indefensible. The way Kimmel turns Karoline into the victim of this political story is like a masterful comedy, because it's not just satire, it perfectly reflects the impasse Karoline faces every day. Becoming the target of Kimmel's jokes might just be one of the toughest jobs in the U.S.